Well, look at that. Everyone's donning their Christmas hat gear, everything like that. 'Tis the season to be jolly. We are back for another episode of Pony Express Radio. I hope everyone had very full stomachs on Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoyed your deep fried turkeys and your mashed potatoes, your gravy, your stuffing, your cranberries, your amazing pie. I hope you all had great and lovely times with your families, watched some good football, drink some nice cider and whiskey, whatever it is that you guys were doing. I hope everyone got their Christmas shopping done for their families and everyone is getting into the good old Christmas spirit. So, welcome back to the show, Mr. P. Quinones. How was your Thanksgiving, sir?
We had tacos and tequila.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
kidding. Get out of here, deport.
I'm just kidding. We had everything that you mentioned and more. So,
wonderful.
Doing good.
Excellent. And making his return to Pony Express Radio is my good friend, Mr. Christopher Sandbatch. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. I actually, before we get started, though, it's like we were running through, because we actually do this, unlike any other show that I'm on, we're prepared enough here that we actually run through what the topics are going to be beforehand. And I noted whenever we did it, I'm like, every time I come on this show, we're talking about Indians. I feel like the dude that gets contracted to kill the man-eating tigers. You know. I had an interesting Thanksgiving too, because I mean, anytime interesting with it. Any involvement my family has with one another is always interesting, to say the least. But then I got home, and as I was opening my door to walk in, a large portion of my ceiling tiles collapsed. So there's a Thanksgiving from New Orleans story.
You truly are like the artist.
Trap house stories with Christopher Sandbatch.
Yeah. Just got the bed in the corner, but still has like 3 women sitting on it.
Dude, it's funny because I people visit me all the time, because I'm hosting a SoundCloud rapper this week that I don't know. Just some dude from Twitter, that one of the women that I know from Twitter has sent down here. He's like, can he stay with you for a couple of days? I'm like, yeah, sure he can. But when people actually do arrive at my house, they're usually astonished to discover that, I mean, it's kind of trap housey, but only in the sense that it's old. My house was built in 1917, but it's a shotgun house in a nice neighborhood in New Orleans, and people are always like thrown on their ass by that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it's cheap. I got it cheap because a guy got shot in front of it right before I signed a lease.
People might be aware of Mr. George Bagby's Telegram, Bagby's Corner, where he would just regale us with either things that he's heard various boomers or various other people just on the street say, just like quotes out of context. I feel like there could be a Christopher Sandbatch Substack or something, just tales, musings from New Orleans.
Oh, who is that gay libertarian blogger that you ran into in the elevator one time? What the hell is his name?
Could you be a little more vague?
Yeah. It's like, do you have any idea how little that narrows down?
Right. He was Jewish.
Michael Malice.
That's him. Yeah, that's him. No, that was how he got famous initially. He had a blog called Overheard in New York, where that was just all he did was he had a blog that was just things that he overheard people saying in New York.
Wow. Huh, I did not know that about him. But yeah, I mean, that was an interesting story.
Blog was just like all N non N yo my N.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, when I met him in the elevator at Tom Woods 2000, and interestingly enough, we ended up getting off at the same floor, walked down the same hallway, and our rooms were way at the end, like across the corner from the hallway. We were like the last 2 rooms on the end. I mean, he must have thought I was like stalking him, gonna take him in his room and like kill him or something. He was walking kind of hastily towards the end, but he was the last room.
I think he was hoping for something else, but
whatever. But anyway, we do actually have topics, and we do have things to get to, gentlemen. So why don't we get started? But first, of course, we have to keep the lights on here, and we got to promote our friends. So on the start, it is the Christmas season. White Boy Summer has drawn to a close, but we are now about to start White Boy Winter. You guys could still use this time to your advantage to get shredded for next year. So please head on over to Axios Remote Fitness and Coaching. Link is down in the description, and YouTube can get shredded for next year. While you're at it, if you guys want your caffeine fix, head on over to Fox & Sons Coffee, the official coffee and caffeine product of the Old Glory Club and many other of our good friends throughout this sphere. So head on over to Fox & Sons. And then while you're at it, because we here at the OGC are fans of big tobacco, head on over to Alp nicotine pouches. I saw that they had like some kind of Christmas party like last night. Like all the Alp guys came together. There was quite a collection of characters. I was seeing some pictures from that. There were a lot of like professional hunter guys, and Tucker Carlson obviously was there because it's like his thing, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe, you know, we should earn tickets for that, to be honest. With all the product that we've sold from Alp, from our affiliate link, we damn well deserve tickets to go to that thing. We got to bring that up with people for next year, man. I got to tell you. So head on over to Alp to get your nicotine fix. And then while you're on your nicotine high, take the opportunity to read some great books on American history. Head on over to Tall Man Books. We were mentioning our good friend, Mr. George Bagby, earlier. Bagby is doing some wonderful work reviving some older American books that were written before the Nuremberg regime that we're all living under. There's some great material in there, and it's always good to be supporting fellow friends. So head on over to Tall Man Books.
You know, he picks good ones too. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that are in the reprint game where like say, oh yeah, we don't like need like yet, you know, everybody knows what I'm talking about. And whenever we're like, oh, like, yeah, we need like Yukio and Mishima or something like that. We need like another edition of that. Bagby actually he does a really cool thing, which is like pull actually interesting stuff that pretty much nobody else besides him would find off the scrap heap. So yeah. He's a good curator of material.
His book on the Spanish explorers coming to America is absolutely it floored me. It floored me to find out that like where I live, they were coming up where I live, and then they were going to like Arkansas, and it was just
they made it quite far.
Insane.
Yeah. A lot of people think they just made it to like Florida or something, but no, like they wouldn't.
They were taking slaves along. That's the thing I love about that book too. Is it's like they'll be like, oh, and they just took this whole town as slaves, and you know, no moralizing, just that's what they did.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, it's like that's God. I would hate to just get totally derailed, but that's what because you know I'm like that's the part of the world I'm from. Like I'm an Anglo and everything, but I was even telling this about it. I grew up in the shadow of the Spanish Empire. Like you ever been in New Orleans? Even you go to the French Quarter, it's Spanish is what it really is because the Spanish took control of it, and then the French Quarter burned down. And they built it back up, and it looks Spanish. But I'm always like, I have always been, even when I was an academic, I was into these like early colonial narratives, and the Spanish ones were the most fascinating to me. That book is incredible. Everybody should go pick that one up. But I can't remember, just to ask, is it the one that has the story about the Spanish colony in Alabama where they tried to grow olive groves and vineyards?
Yeah, is it the one? Is it on the borderlands? Something like that? Across the borderlands? Has borderlands in the title? I can't remember the name of it because I have so many books. But
yeah, there's a bunch. There's a bunch of them, but I can't remember because there's one really old famous one, and I've never seen a reference to any other colony, this colony in any other book. But there was at some point there was a Spanish colony in central Alabama that attempted to grow olive groves and vineyards, and Indians killed all of them.
Many such cases.
Right. Indeed.
Many such cases.
Well, before this stream gets mistaken for American Spirits with all of the history content that is getting lobbed at us, let us quickly jump into the topic. So why don't we start with some breaking news that came from earlier today. A lot of this is still developing, but this actually has to do in reference with January 6th. Everybody remembers that day, the great American insurrection where Trump supporters came into the Capitol building and played capture the flag like Call of Duty domination style, and therefore they got their hands on the nuclear codes and took over the entire country, you know, that day. Yeah, well, people will remember this, that there were 2 bombs that were planted at both the RNC and the DNC national headquarters in Washington, D.C. that day. And, you know, that story just disappeared. It was dropped. Nobody knew what was going on with that. For a long time, it was speculated that, various FBI or Fed apparatuses were involved with that one, but it kind of just floated out there for a while. But now we have announcements today from the FBI that apparently this character, accused pipe bomber Brian Cole, who was a previous lawyer who sued Trump's DHS back in the day, is the guy who's been accused. So here we go. Leftist activist lawyer, guy 30 years old, allegedly plants 2 bombs. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say this guy wasn't a, Trump supporting J6er, on that day. So thoughts, gentlemen?
Who even are these people? Like where do they come from? Is the question, because I don't know whether to believe something like this is real. Because I'm so mind blown by the existence of this just jelly layer of attorneys and activists who glow so brilliantly that they could either have done it or not done it, and I can come up with serious glowy cases either way, and I don't know what to believe.
I mean, that is a good point at this point. I mean, number one, I'm not exactly believing anything that Kash Patel's FBI is putting out these days. I mean, did you guys see the recent leak that apparently he refused to give the press conference and leave the plane after the Charlie Kirk assassination because he didn't have a jacket, and they had to make sure that he got a jacket with the correct patches and everything in order to make the press
so
conference.
wild.
It's that's the most Indian thing ever.
Yes.
And it is the most Indian thing ever, because when you realize that he literally walks around all day going, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be shitting in the street in Delhi. And how did I get here? Look, this guy right here. Here's the thing. What do you do? What do we say? If nothing happens to this guy, if they don't do anything, if they give him a plea bargain, and he and doesn't do a day, what do we say? What's the opinion? They're fucking coming. As soon as they come back into power, they're going to kill us. All of us.
We're going to get to a story about that in a bit here. But I mean, I think one interesting a line of questioning people should be having right now is doing a little bit more background to this guy to see if he ran afoul of some of the Democrat or deep state apparatus, and they're just going to throw this guy to the wolves, so to speak, because I don't believe for a moment that the FBI guys with just their super sleuth, extra awesome detective skills found this guy after going on 5 years at this point. No, this doesn't pass the smell test for me.
I don't. There's no part of me that even believes they have anybody assigned to that case anymore. If there's it's like that scene in The Big Lebowski, where there's when Lebowski asked the cop, who I think was Cheech Marin, about the Credence deck, and he's like, yeah, we got him working on it. We got him working on it in shifts. Get the hell out of here. You don't have anybody working on that case. I know there's nobody assigned to the J6 to investigating the J6 pipe bombings left in Langley. There's 0% chance that's a dude's job. And if it is a dude's job, he's listening to this show right now. You can DM me and I'll take it back,
Hey, I mean, well, this just goes back to one of the things that we're constantly harping on this show all the time. We have been for years at this point. It's there's just no accountability in our elites, and they just lie all the time. And then at the same time, they go out of their way to try and shame everybody else for not believing their narrative. It's listen here, I'm not particularly a fan at all of Candace Owens hijacking the Charlie Kirk thing and saying that there's secret tunnels underneath the campus and stuff like this. It's yeah, I hate that shit too, but it's what the fuck were you going to expect when we just had the whole, bait and switch of the Epstein file stuff, we're going to pull Cernovich and DC Drano and Liz Wheeler and all these other fucking clowns into the White House, give them sheets of paper that are completely redacted. It's like a kid poured a giant ball of ink all over it, so we can't even fucking read them. And then we're going to go through the whole charade of saying, oh, well, the list doesn't exist, but I've got it on my desk ready to sign. And, it's what do you expect? Of course, people aren't just going to believe this stuff right away.
So Dan Baltic said something the other day that I thought was really funny. He was like the real red pill is whenever you learn that the deep state is actually just a lot of disparate bureaucrats who share an MSNBC addiction. And like, there's like a bit of truth to that. Like, I think like the idea that there's somebody, I think that the federal government gets away with this to a large extent based on the fact that like there's still enough Americans who have seen The West Wing and they think there's like really somebody operating behind the curtain. But I saw a story today that said that 71 different social security numbers were being used to draw like healthcare subsidies. Like, so there's like one social security number that was being used by 71 different persons to draw.
Oh, Obama. Look, that thing that we were told doesn't happen is happening again.
Right. But then it's like, even a basic SQL server should flag that. So like there's literally no one tending the massive data set behind the curtain,
I want to know who's behind this guy. I mean, this is an 85 IQ typical non. His law degree, he probably got it in Grenada or something.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Like damn.
I mean, he's owned by somebody. Somebody's telling him to go out and do this stuff.
Like his face is that's the raped. The face of the raped right there.
Yeah. Even if you did, like, even if this guy does go to jail, I mean, the person who put him up to all this is still out there, is still, dining in the nicest restaurants. I mean,
I don't believe this guy can put some
down.
Yeah, I don't believe this guy could put a couple Legos together, let alone craft 2 bombs and then put them in front of, 2 political HQs.
Yeah,
that face says Harvard Law. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this story. I mean, it's interesting that, at least like I find it at least interesting than this last week. We're going to get to this a little bit later with a couple more clips that we have, but it actually seems like the Trump administration at least is like trying to signal back to the base that we're actually trying to do shit now. Like the last couple of weeks, it's just been nothing but, pouring gasoline on this fire of their credibility burning away. But at least now they're saying, oh, this is something the base like actually kind of cares about. They're talking about J6, right? Thomas Massey was tweeting about this not too long ago about how, FBI's got information. Well, here we go. Kash Patel's actually doing something, guys. Pay no attention to the fact that Tyler Robinson's true lover is still missing, and nobody knows what happened to him. Escaped within a week, probably hiding in some Antifa cell somewhere. Who knows?
And the Macrones are trying to kill Candace Owens. Yeah.
That's a real important story we got to be paying attention to, Pete. Yeah.
Almost. You almost got to. I mean, I know it's dead, but the clown world meme almost needs to come back at this point.
Not really. Alrighty. Well, we'll see what more details come out on this story. But at the start of it, not passing the smell test here. Something's not right. Even if this guy was the actual guy who went and did it, there's no way this guy acted alone. Absolutely not. And then the question comes, okay, are we actually going to do any more investigating to see who was attached to this dude? Or if this guy isn't the guy and he's just a patsy fall guy? I mean, again, it's just like the same thing with the Epstein stuff. It's the same thing with all these other cases. It's just nobody's held account and everybody lies.
This one stinks over the top of Kash Patel's knockoff Armani and turmeric.
Oof. Groiper. Could be somebody's name. Anyway. Alrighty. Pete, you made reference to the Democrats alluding to, when they get back into power, they're just going to do unspeakable things to everybody. Well,
wait a minute. I just found something out. Brian Cole, the guy we were just looking at, has a 2017 Nissan Sentra. It doesn't get more perfect than that.
They're going to say a Dodge Charger.
The most
from PPE money. Well, speaking of the Democrats threatening to imprison a bunch of Republicans, we've got House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, very American name. God, just look at that look right there. Hate this guy.
It's like whenever you're like getting your picture taken for 3rd grade and the teacher says, make an Obama face. What the fuck?
What a weird character.
He's insane. He's crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But we should be listening to these people when they tell us what they are and what they're about. So let's listen to old Hakeem right here.
One thing that should be clear to all of these Republican extremists and sycophants and the people who are either actively involved in corruption, violating the law, engaged in extrajudicial activity, is that the statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now is 5 years. It will extend well beyond the end of the Trump administration.
Faggot.
Oh no, new soundboard. Well, I mean,
The N-word.
love it. Well, we talked about this show on the show 2 weeks ago, just before Thanksgiving. We're bringing this up about Pete Hegseth's response to the Democrats calling for insurrection and military members to disobey orders coming from Pete Hegseth. And now we got old Hakeem here, just literally saying it out loud, what we already knew that they were going to do anyway. It's like, what is this other than saying, oh yeah, when we get back into power, all you guys are going to get arrested? And this really needs to be hammered home, especially to all of the normie conservative Republicans, like these characters like that. I think it was that Indiana politician who said that now I'm not going to vote for this redistricting because Trump said retard. All these people think that they are going to be spared from this Jacobin revolution that the Democrats are about to unleash should they get back into power. It's like, dude, there is no guardrails on this track here. Like once this gets unleashed, you aren't going to be spared because you're like the good House conservatives, or something like that. Like we're absolutely playing for keeps. People could talk about all the great things the Trump administration has done. And yes, they've been like the best administration in my entire lifetime, particularly on things like with immigration, legal immigration rather, just completely shutting down the southern border. But it's like, you don't get graded on the curve at this point, guys. It's either total victory or total defeat. And anything short of total victory is just not something we could stand for at this point. Yeah, but, I mean, that's just me being a panicking, guys. I don't know.
No, it's not being a panicking. I've been in this game. I've been podcasting now. This is going to make 10 years that I've been podcasting. Okay, we need to know. We need 10 more right-wing years. We need 10 more years of right-wing podcasts. But I said this to Pete when I went on his show the other day. And it was, I was talking to my buddy Dark Enlightenment the other day. I'm like, holy shit, man. We've been doing this for 10 years. Okay, like things that, first of all, this kind of like, whataboutism is what we used to call it, where like, it's better than the alternative. These are like edge cases that would have been acceptable 10 years ago. But like, if you remember what that original clock is that we had on the board to 2044 or 20 or so, if you take that clock, if you say it was midnight, it was like like the whole day. It was midnight then. Well,
it's doomsday clock.
Yeah, well, the doomsday clock to white parody, frankly, for lack of a better thing. But if you imagine the time that we had as the total clock time in a day, and we started 10 years ago at 12 midnight. It's like time to wake up and go to work now. That's like that's where we're at. And like, you can't really, there's so many things here that bother me. The one that jumps off is, do you know what his district is? Do you know what Hakeem Jeffrey's district is?
Like a New York guy, right?
Well, yeah, not just New York. Not just New York. It's Crown Heights, okay, which is like probably the most Jewish district in the country. I don't know whether or not it is, but one of the things that Democrats do that amazes me that Republicans don't do. Okay, so say everything goes the way everybody thinks Tennessee 7, the way the Tennessee 7 pundits were saying yesterday whenever they projected that map that predicted big blue wave or whatever the meme is going to be. Theoretically, this guy is possibly in line to become Speaker of the House, okay, in an oppositional House of Representatives, okay, and this is a man screeching these vitriolic things, and he physically, legally represents the absolute heart of blue power, okay. So like this is Crown Heights, New York City. They put their heavy hitters in like the serious seats of power, and we like Republicans don't do that. This is an incongruity that fascinates me. So like if you look, who's the Speaker of the House? It's Mike Johnson, just some dude from Shreveport. Okay, it's like if you imagine them standing together, and I don't really, because I mean I got good friends in Shreveport, but like farmhand from like radio show dude from Shreveport standing next to his like nominal equal opposition in the opposing party, and it's like this like high powered like Brooklyn meat puppet for these Jews. Okay, it's like, well, like we can't even get this shit right where we put our most powerful people in the most powerful positions. It's fucking fascinating to me how incongruous the two parties operate.
There's only one political party in the United States, and it's not the fucking Republicans.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it was Harrison Smith had that tweet where he said the GOP is going through a civil war. Only one of the combatants is a foreign country.
Wow.
It's like, well, I mean, what are we supposed to do here? Yeah, I mean, we're literally under occupation, and yeah, I mean, I think that more people are picking up on that. I mean, and I look at this guy Jeffries, and I mean, he's obviously just a puppet. I mean, is he wearing makeup? What is going on here?
I mean, they almost all of them wear makeup, but I mean, he's like he's a little bit.
Do you think he tied his own tie? Do you think he really knows how to tie his own tie?
As somebody who's spent enough time around politicians, I'm surprised whenever they animate enough to say hello when you walk in the room. Like it's like they're usually like literally like these brain dead zombies that they can read. Like if you notice in the clip, he was reading from a teleprompter because it fucked up, and he like had to stop and wait for it to get. I'm like, man, you had to remember like a paragraph there. He couldn't even do that. But I mean, he does. He represents one of the most powerful constituencies in the country. Like hell. Like I hate to say this, but put Lindsey Graham in charge of the Senate or something. Like at least he's got like heft to him.
This is something we've been saying for a while. I mean, Cringy was on early this year and just said, I need to remind you that as soon as these people get back in power, if you let these people back in power, they're coming after us.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing where being a nat, because I'm not one, and I say this lovingly. Okay, I'm not a conservative. Don't have a conservative disposition. I don't have a conservative mindset. I don't think about the world conservatively. But the idea of crossing the Rubicon as a conservative it tends to be like, well, we crossed the Rubicon. Now we can like stop on the other side and like dip our toes back in the water or something like that.
Stop and have a fish. Yeah.
Like I wrote about this at the start of the year whenever Stephen Miller started using Chat GPT to flood the world with executive orders. I'm like, first of all, that's cool. Do that. But if you don't win, the other team is coming back and they're going to do it harder. Okay, it's like it's like we've had this is the thing, and I hate to bring history up again, but one of the things about American history is that people tend to think of it as more continuous than it is. So like whenever you say like, well, we've only had one civil war, that's actually really not true. We've had arguably 7 civil wars, only one of them erupted in violence, but like we have had 7, and if you want to even boil it down further than that, political parties have disappeared in American history. The Federalists disappeared. The Whigs disappeared. Okay, it is absolutely not beyond the question that like one political party will literally just take power and eat the other. Okay, and look, we're at one of these inflection points now where this isn't like 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago where it's like, oh yeah, the other team's coming into power and they're going to raise taxes a little bit. And it's like, no, they're going to throw you, they're going to put you in jail. They're going to put all of us in jail.
Yeah,
things have been done that can't be undone. You gotta move faster, boy.
Exactly. I mean, it cannot be stressed enough to the Trump administration that you guys are going to learn one way or another what historical moment you're living in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get the good timeline and not the timeline when all of you guys are taken away in handcuffs, on January 21st under President, Kamala Harris or, President Gavin Newsom or whoever the fuck comes in next, right? So hopefully you learn before then and not when you guys are taken to prison or worse. Again, like just for personal self-preservation, if for nothing, like I'm literally just appealing to like the most basal of all human instincts is to like survive like yourself, for like forget about doing stuff for your constituency or the country, the things you should be doing, right? But just for your own like self-preservation, you actually need to start doing this shit. So we'll see what happens. Not holding my breath though.
Yeah, we can't. It's at this point you have they're just basically saying out loud, look, we're just going to do when we get back in power, all these people are going to jail. They have quote unquote conservatives and more libertarian types calling Pete Hegseth a war criminal. That's how useful these people are. The libertarians and the.
Yeah, well, it also just shows you with these conservatives in the House is that they don't actually fear the Trump administration. They don't fear the hammer of like the commander in chief coming down on these people to get the party in line. And this is just not what you see with the Democrats. It's like Nancy Pelosi shows up in the House, like even looks the wrong way at some people in the House, and they immediately obey her orders. There's just no central hierarchy commanding the Republicans. All of them are sitting there basically hedging their bets. They're like, oh, well, maybe Trump is going to do stuff. Maybe Vance will be next. Maybe the Democrats will come back in. People follow strength, man.
That county attorney for Hennepin County up in Minnesota, Mary Moriarty, just basically coming out and saying that, let us be very clear, there are no roving Somali gangs terrorizing people. The Trump administration is, once again, using a campaign of hatred and fear to try and divide us. It will not work. You could talk about putting the woke away all you want. They're going to use all of those same old excuses. Oh, it's hate and it's racisms and anti-Semitisms. That's why we're going to have to throw everybody in jail. I had a tweet. I said, if women like this and every other woman like her aren't in Gitmo, you don't have a country. You just don't have a country. And these people are walking around and they are just saying the most vile. Why do they think they can get away with saying stuff like this? Because we have free speech? Oh, fuck you. No, we don't. We never have. Give me a break.
It's worth pointing out that like accusing the sitting government of your own country of war crimes is so beyond the pale. We used to not even let people do that 20 years after the fact. One of my favorite historians is a man named Charles Beard. And he was a pretty lukewarm leftist for most of his career, but he was a conscientious objector to World War II. And he wrote a book after the war, about 10 years after the war, called Mr. Roosevelt's War, that got him cast into outer darkness because he questioned the narrative around World War II in the 1950s. But he was the most respected historian in the country at the time. We used to cast well-respected public figures into outer darkness for suggesting that even a president 20 years ago committed war crimes. Now we're just up here being the president of my country. That's how is that not?
Dude, they fucking chased Julian Assange halfway across the world.
Yeah, right. That's so true.
Just in our lifetime.
I look at this and I read something like the Insurrection Act and I wonder, how does this not actually qualify as insurrection? Why can't we just arrest you for that?
Because then the boomer donors are going to get scared, Sandbatch.
Because theoretically, there is the looming specter of Russian influence. We're actually at war. We're not technically at war with Russia, but undermining the unitary nature of the U.S. government at a time whenever we're in a proxy war with a near peer opposition. I understand how that doesn't qualify as aiding and abetting the enemy, so on and so forth. It's okay, yeah, you're going to jail. It's the way. I don't know why Stephen Miller doesn't. Like Stephen Miller seems like the kind of guy who thinks on that level. I don't know why we don't. I don't know why he doesn't do more of it. You know, it's like let's just. They'll be out of jail by the end of the day, but like at least arrest them. You know, fire a shot across the bow or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, they can't. They just can't do that. I mean,
It's true.
What did Sam Francis call them? Beautiful losers.
Yeah.
They don't know how to win. They don't know how to win. I mean, these are the people who get elected and they cut taxes. And you're like, okay, thank you. Okay, now how about you start redacting like whole sections of the society?
Well, what was the thing he did? What was the thing they came out with yesterday? They were gonna like allow. It's like, oh, the middle class doesn't get access to enough tax relief, so we're gonna let them. We're gonna let them write off their car debt as a tax write-off. I'm like, okay, so you're encouraging people to go out and get payday loans on cars?
yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, just absolutely nothing they've been doing on like these supposed like economic measures is doing fuck all, man. It's crazy. But anyway, so I mean, listen here, there were more tweets just from professional journalists and a lot of leftist podcasters just in the last day when Pete Hegseth once again poked the bear, you know, with I mean, everyone's like tweeting these fucking like Franklin the Turtle edits. It's like the Studio Ghibli stuff that was going around earlier this year. You know, it's like, oh yeah, Franklin the Turtle blowing up narco terrorists. It's like, okay, dude. I mean, that's great and all, but now you've got, you know, Democrat politicians and podcasters and famous journos and everyone just saying, oh, we're writing this down and this is going to be used when we have your war crime trial after all of this is over. It's like, get fucking real, dude. Seriously. Understand what time you're in. And it's like I said, you guys are going to learn one way or another, and you only come out of this in one of two ways. You guys either turn into Caesar or you turn into Bolsonaro.
Yeah.
So, you know, pick your fucking choice.
It's like if for whatever reason you choose the Bolsonaro option, remember this is the country that Bolsonaro fled to. There's nowhere for you to go.
Yep.
You know, this is it. The buck stops here.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh boy. So, well, God, what horrible story do we want to go to next? You know what? Speaking of journos, we have to go to this New York Times piece because there are things every day that you see online that make you mad. But this one right here, buckle up, everyone, because this is the first one that made me actively angry in a long time, and there's no way that any of us are gonna be able to say what we should do to this guy, you know, on this platform. So let's listen.
I already hate
You lost. The mistake that you made is you let us in the first place. See, that's the thing with brown people. I'm going to say this as a brown person. There's a lot of us, like a lot. There's like 1.2 billion in India. There's more than 200 million in Pakistan. There's like 170 million in Bangladesh. Those are just the people there. I'm even talking about the folks who are expats or immigrants. There's a bunch of us, and we breed. We're a breeding people, and the problem is you let us in 1965. There were a few of us beforehand, but once you let one of us in, you know what happens with brown folks? Our grandmother comes, our grandfather comes, our uncle comes, our aunt comes, our cousin comes, our second cousin comes, our third cousin comes. Then we have kids, a bunch of kids, and then guess what? Some white women, you know, the Western civilization women, the pure women, the American women, quote unquote, the Rust Belt women, the real women, they like some of us brown folks. We don't take them; they come to us. So we're embedded. We are everywhere. We are everywhere. I've traveled this country. I'm going to speak as a brown person. Brown people are everywhere. There will be a Patel Motel or there will be a Desi restaurant everywhere. I want you to realize this. You have lost. Your story is a shitty story filled with misery. It's filled with bland chicken. It's filled with terrible, terrible dry ass meat. Your music sucks. All your culture sucks. Nobody. That's why the kids like listen to black people and their music. That's why the kids love Latinos. Your parties suck because they're monochromatic. Our parties have better food, better music, better looking women.
You know, normally I would laugh at that, but this time, you know. So for people who don't know, this is Wajat Ali, writer for the New York Times, just blatantly coming out and saying, you know, that thing that we're told it never happens, you know, the Great Replacement and stuff, you know, oh, look, that thing that we all say is happening again. Guy just openly saying it. Ethnic narcissism. We're here to replace you. Your culture sucks. Your country sucks. We're going to take your women. We're going to take your resources. You've already lost. If we were a serious country, this guy would be deported yesterday and all of his bloodline. But we're not a serious country.
Look, man, if the Crusades, that our ancestors did, can wake up in my blood, it can wake up in everyone's blood. I mean, this is the fact that he can get away with saying this. The fact that he feels confident enough to say this is really a judgment upon us. It's a judgment on us that we allow it.
Yeah. This guy should not feel comfortable saying this. No way. It's just unbelievable. And fuck you, all you House conservatives trying to say, oh, civic nationalism is going to work. Bring these people in. They're going to become just like us. We're going to get to another story about another ethnic group that is making the waves right now. But unbelievable, man. There shouldn't be a single one of these people in our hemisphere, let alone fucking writing for the New York Times. Just open ethnic narcissism and hatred for heritage Americans, the people who built this country that he wanted to
for his
come
fucking
to.
betters. For his betters, they can't build shit. They can only consume. They're fucking zombies. That's all they are. They're fucking zombies. All they can do is walk and eat and kill and destroy. That's all they can do. That's all they're worth. That's all they've ever been worth.
I actually didn't have anything to say about that. It's just like this, just let it speak for itself.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we have to say this, on the stream? How many times do people have to continually point this out? I mean, and the guy also just like gave the game away. This is like literally the same stuff that we say all the time. This could have easily came out of like Daily Stormer. Like the way this guy said it was just so mask off. It's like, oh yeah, it all happened because of 1965 and the Immigration Act. You guys let us in. You should have never let us in the first place, and now we're here.
I think Aramaic Discourse makes a really good point over here. Remember, this is one of the good ones.
Yeah.
This is their version of a smart person. It's like that that Indian guy I had on my show, Giant Bandari said. He goes, you haven't met the average Indian yet. You haven't met the average friggin' wherever this thing is from yet.
Yeah. People notice this anytime. If you go on Twitter and make fun of these people, they have two modes and they cannot escape either of these two modes. It's either extreme ethnic narcissism to the most amazing and like outlandish degree that we literally did everything, but then in the very next sentence we'll say we're poor, we're innocent, we're horrible, nothing, we can do nothing, we have to come to your country, you have to help us. It's like people just scamming is just in their blood, man. They have no shame whatsoever. The fact that this guy isn't intelligent enough to read the room of the situation and play things a little bit more stealthy, like another certain group that these guys share a lot of attributes with. At least they're intelligent enough to, rein in some of this more outlandish dialogue up until recently, because apparently on October 7th, they all just lost their minds and forgot to do that all of a sudden. But yeah, these people have been here in huge numbers for not even 20 years yet, from his part of the world, at least. Not to talk about the millions of other people we've imported since 1965. But yeah, these people are relatively newish arrivals compared to the other people. And immediately they're just going completely mask off, giving the game away. It's because they know. They know they're not going to suffer any consequences whatsoever. All the rhetoric from the conservatives is going to be, oh, illegal immigrants, illegal immigrants, illegal immigrants. Did the illegal immigrants in this country, around 40% of the people that actually need to be deported. They're not even the majority of the problem. But that's what we're allowed to talk about all the time. Which is what we're going to talk about on this next story right here, going back to Minnesota, which I guess is rapidly becoming like the worst state in the entire union to live in at this point. It's certainly up there. But the Somali community is in the news because they have embezzled and stolen billions of dollars from various sources. Whether it's the COVID healthcare debacle with claiming that their 45 IQ kids all have autism, so we're going to steal a bunch of autism money, or we're going to take other various welfare scams and programs and send it to various Islamic terror groups abroad. This just couldn't be contained anymore about how ridiculous this is, that there shouldn't be a single Somali person in our entire fucking country. The Trump administration has finally, after weeks of defending H-1B visas and legal immigration of all kinds, has finally decided we got to signal to the base again by doing something about immigration. But of course, the people that they're targeting with these ICE raids are illegal Somalis, which is only around 1/5 of the people who are actually there. 4/5 of the Somalis came here legally. I don't know, we just got to focus on those illegal immigrant ones, guys. We got to focus on those criminal ones. Let's hear what Trump has to say.
Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Well, first of all, no lies really detected right there in what he's saying. But the follow-up question from all of us, and should be for everyone sitting at that table, great, then round them all up and fucking denaturalize and deport them. Why is Ilhan Omar still in this country?
That's one of the things. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, Sandy.
That's one of the things that fascinates me. And how does this woman continue to remain here?
Yeah, it's like we've had evidence for years at this point. DNA evidence between her and her alleged husband, who was in fact her brother, so her brother can get citizenship in the United States, just blatantly engaging in immigration fraud to get people into this country. The whole community is a net drain on the tax system. The community is engaging in violent sexual assaults, roaming gangs, taking over the American heartland in the Midwest where we have Islamic calls to prayer. Their politicians openly declare on TV all the time, speaking in their native tongues, that our duty is to our motherland of Somalia. They send money back there to various political groups back there, including Islamic terrorist groups that have killed Americans. They don't dress like Americans. They don't act like Americans. They don't look like Americans. They don't behave like Americans. There's nothing American about these people. So why the fuck are they here? And don't tell me you're rounding up all the illegal ones. I'm done with that being the excuse at this point. I'm done with Stephen Miller getting on TV bitching about the judicial coup on Fox News for the 10,000th fucking time this year. The American people are suffering right now. They are crippling under the massive amounts of inflation, the cost of living, the housing crisis, the cost of cars, everything. And we've got these fucking people here in their millions still exploiting the system at every fucking turn. Get them out of here.
When I think this is happening in Minneapolis, I'm pretty sure that Target, that's where they're based out of. I'd like to see what they have to say about this, because to me, the biggest problem we have is these fucking corporations. The Walmarts, the Targets, the Publixes, all of these companies, they don't want deportations. They want the borders open. They don't want to get rid of Gibbs. They want Gibbs to increase. Why? More customers, more money going their way. Until we remove the incentives for the moneyed class in this country to want to bring these fucking people in here and not want to get rid of any of them. I mean, we're screwed. We're screwed. You know, all right, I'm going to do it again. Libertarians want to talk about incentives. Oh, incentives. What incentive what's the incentive for Walmart to want mass deportations? You know, some of the biggest political donors in the country, in the fucking world. What is their motivation? What is their incentive for wanting mass deportations? There is none. It's customers. It's printing money for Gibbs. It's increasing their bottom line. I mean, all of this, he could talk all the shit that he wants, but the people who put him in power and donate to the GOP and, you know, just they want the same fucking things the Democrats want, maybe for different reasons. That's the only difference between these parties now is the reasons why they would want, why they might want something. We're fucking toast until we realize these fucking gigantic rich son of a bitch corporations, until they're broken apart and, you know, destroyed. I'm sorry, you know, I don't want to sound like a Marxist, but it's these fucking people. And they're the ones keeping this going.
I mean, that is, you know, people have a hard time understanding that. I mean, that is another, when people talk about how difficult it is to, I mean, like Walmart, okay, almost all businesses in America almost all business in America is government subsidized to one extent or another. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. It's like, yeah, what is it? Shit, I was just looking at New York City. It costs like $300,000, somewhere between $150,000 and $300,000 if you want to open a restaurant in New York City. Okay, where are you going to find the money to do that? You need government subsidies almost immediately. You need government subsidies or an ethnic racket, which are usually at the end of the day also government subsidies. So like when you look at a company like Walmart or whatever, and be like, okay, where are their government subsidies? Okay, their government subsidies are the customer base that is, like, you know, imported or maintained as their customer base by the federal government. That's how they get their subsidies. You know. That's how that works.
Again, we keep talking about the two fix everything switches that the administration has: mass deportations, cut the Gordian knot with the judges. There is no other solution than these. These are your only two options available to you to actually fix the problems. You can jangle the keys of 50-year mortgages and Trump accounts for babies that are born next year, and, you know, Trumpy bucks coming from tariffs and all this bullshit. You got to mass deport people, and you got to deal with the judges who are going to stand in the way. And that's it. So we'll see what they do. I suspect they're going to deport a bunch of illegal people. That's great. You know, every single one of them is gone is better than we started the day before yesterday. But the next administration that comes in is just going to let in 20, 30, 35 million people. It'll all be undone unless you actually fix the source of the problems.
And and that's the thing is, people think it's just very simple. It's like, oh, you know, they just want them to come in here and vote. That is the fucking least of it.
Yeah.
It's all about fucking money. It's all about business. It's all about new customers. It's all about money flooding into the fucking... Come on, people. Fucking wake up. Think.
Yep. Well, we'll again see what happens. I mean, at least it's a sign that the administration feels like they actually have to do some signaling in this regard, because holy fuck, the last 2 months were terrible on this front. Oh, I mean, let's hope that while they're mass deporting all these Somalis, they don't just import a bunch of Indians on the side, which we'll see. On the topic of immigration, the Trump administration has also halted immigration from 19 countries that are deemed as third world, effective immediately. So no citizenships, no green cards, everything stopped from 19 countries. We actually have the list of countries right here that we can list. You'll notice that there's one big one that should be on this list that is not here. But here we go. Afghanistan, Burma,
Israel?
Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Yemen, Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, wherever the fuck that is, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Do you know which one shouldn't be on here, or should be on here, and is the biggest third world country in the entire world? Fucking India.
Israel?
That too. So, I mean,
yeah, this is like banning. This is what I said yesterday. It's like banning baseball, except for the New York Yankees. Like, okay, what do you mean?
That's a good one, Sandy.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what this is. I mean, again, great. Should have been done on day one. And the other thing that should be attached to this too is that anybody who was brought into this country from these, executive orders that allow these people to come here illegally from any of these countries, all those fucking people should be deported too. Go and find these people. Why is there single Afghanistani or Sudanese like Myron Gaines? Take that fucker out of here. Go deport his ass. Or, a Yemeni or Libyan or Somalian or a Haitian. Why are any of these fucking people here? Single one of them. We know where they are. Get them out. I don't care if they came here legally. I don't care if they, allegedly helped our troops in Afghanistan by translating or some bullshit. They betrayed their own countrymen. What makes you think they won't betray us? You just have one of these people kill one National Guardsman and almost kill another one. That guy's still in critical condition. Just happened the day before Thanksgiving when we were away. I went on James Kirkpatrick, Kevin Deanna's show, and we were talking about this. But yeah, Biden administration lets in an Afghanistani guy, comes in, shoots 2 Americans. One woman was 20 years old, victim of the war on terror, which started before she was even born. Fuck are we doing here, man?
That fucking AIDS-ridden faggot Foucault said it right. You start a war of empire, that war's always going to come home to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I've been saying on every stream I'm doing. Whenever this government goes to war with a country, those people are going to end up here. Guess what? We're going to have a huge influx of Venezuelans over the next few years.
It's the only constant from all of our engagements that we've had over the last 100 years. But remember, guys, we got to make sure we fight them over there so we don't fight them over here. And now we've got 5 times as many Islamic people in the United States as there were on September 11th.
Well, they just elected one of those fight them over there as to friggin' the mayoralship of like the capital city of the world.
I mean, we just have to preface this with basically everything we say at this point. It's like we got to do our thing, right? It's like, yeah, this is great. I love this. I love that these countries are on the, do not enter United States list. That's amazing. Trump administration also said that they are stopping the refugee program entirely, except for white Afrikaners in South Africa, which, by the way, is one of the few things that this administration has been pretty much like rock solid perfect on since the beginning, the South Africa issue. But, again, you're not grading on a curve at this point, guys. It's got to be total victory or none at all. It's great, but there's a lot of countries on here that need to be on this list. And again, India is the biggest one. Israel too, as Pete's been saying.
Well, I mean, the one good thing is that Sandy's writing the Great American Novel now, so we can look forward to that.
Yeah. I keep writing. The deal with me in the novel is that there's a novel, like it's like a third done, but They're like, I write other books to prevent myself from writing the novel. So I've written 3 books now as alternates to writing the novel.
Well,
It'll get done eventually.
how about you release one so you can get some money and not being the starving artist?
I might have one of them done tonight, which would be really cool.
Damn. Well, here's the other thing too about this whole topic is, we were talking about the corporations earlier as well. I mean, again, you can put the screw to these guys for people employing illegal immigrants. The other thing that would be amazing for people to do that would definitely cramp down on the legal immigration is tax remittances. It's still amazing to me that the United States government has found one thing in the world they refuse to tax, and that's remittances. They'll tax fucking everything else. If you're a dual citizen, you got your money over there in Sweden or Switzerland or anywhere else in the world, they'll tax it there. They'll tax it when you bring it back. They'll tax it when you have capital gains on some asset you own. They'll tax your property. They'll tax your income. They'll tax literally everything except money for immigrants sending back to their other countries abroad.
But some fucking street shitter gets to keep everything, and we don't.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, America in 2025 is a group where everyone is just looting the corpse, and white people aren't allowed to do it.
Well, I mean,
it's just
look at Congress. Congress is either brown or like the whites are walking corpses, and they're traitors. I mean, they're race traitors.
that
So,
too.
I mean,
yeah, maddening. Well, again, we'll see what happens here. It's just you got to play for keeps, guys. Somebody pointed out in the chat that this would be great if this was done in 1998 when we had 1998 demographics. It's like, yeah, the hour is late. The historical moment you're in demands more. End of story. All right, let's find a topic that's a little bit more interesting to Sandbatch as he's typing away here. So here's a report about the trucking schools going on in the United States. We've been talking about this for a while on
Now
the
we're
show.
going to do a good. So then we're going to do a happy story. Here's another one. Look, nothing good happened this week. It's been awful. Like hide under a rock.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Now for some good news.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So anyway, we've been talking about the story on and off, following it closely throughout the year, is that the Trump administration has been targeting various trucking schools. Listen here, it's been a long-standing tradition for American blue-collar workers to make a good living driving trucks, have good families because it pays very well. Classic place for American men to just enter right out of high school and go drive a truck for a living. People are constantly pointing this number out. It is one of the highest employed jobs in the entire country. So naturally, it'd be a place for most of our guys to go. But unfortunately, it's been infiltrated by various illegal immigrant groups, legal immigrant groups, what have you. We brought up many cases on this show of drivers who don't speak a lick of English, can't understand road signs, grew up in cultures where there's no traffic laws whatsoever, drive on the wrong side of the road, get into accidents, kill people, cause millions of dollars worth of damage every year. I mean, it seems like every week now people will post a video of some guy like driving his truck into an overpass because he didn't understand that the truck was too tall to reach under this bridge. So there we go. Bridge collapses. It's over. Or a car accident takes the lives of some young Americans. There's a tragic case where 2 newlyweds who were only 2 weeks into their marriage, both killed in a front head-on collision by an Indian truck driver in California just last week. But here we go. Breaking. Nearly 44% of U.S. truck driving schools could close after a federal review found many may be out of compliance with government rules. This is in reference to the various rules that the Trump administration has finally started to actually monitor these people with. Things like English proficiency tests. Then we got the other problems with at least 9, it might even be 10, Democrat states in this country and Virginia for some reason. The one purple state in there, but all the rest of them are hardcore blue. You can get a driver's license if you're an illegal immigrant. And as we covered on the show previously, you don't even have to give your name. They'll literally just give you the ID, the license. Unbelievable. So now all
I
these
mean,
truckers or schools are just going to close.
I've
They're just doing
never
the
been.
jobs and won't work.
I've never been to one of these schools, but I assume they're about as serious about training as like if you're in a state where you have to take a class in order to get your carry permit, where you're just in there with some fucking boomer who just doesn't want you to shoot him. Just don't shoot me. You're going to pass the class. You're going to. I mean, look, come on. Is anybody taking this seriously? Everybody knows. Anyone who knows a trucker, my brother's a trucker. Anyone who knows a trucker knows it. They go to this school, and what does the school tell them? You'll learn how to drive out on the road. That's it. That's it. They're not coming out of there, knowing what they even need to do to maneuver into a friggin' parking lot to get around a building. They learn that on the road. And then you have people who, it used to be the majority were white, middle class, college, high school graduates who, were smart guys, and they got into trucking because it was a good way to support yourself. And, they didn't have to go to college. They could pay $2,500 to go to class, not pay $250,000 to go to college. And they could make as much as a college graduate was making, maybe not after 5 or 6 years working in a really good industry or something. But I mean, this is the way they made. Now it's what, every fucking Guatemalan, every Indian, and the Indians don't even have to go to school. They don't even have to have a license. They're given a license. I mean, we literally have missiles on the highway just waiting to kill somebody. And when they kill somebody, nothing happens to them. What, they might get deported? I mean, you can make the argument that getting deported to India is worse than being in a Mississippi prison. But still, I mean, I'd like to see, redactions for these people. But it's just me.
Yeah. So in response to this report that 44% of these schools, that's just amazing, by the way. That's almost 50%, 1 and 2, are out of compliance. Just imagine the kind of loopholes and forging of numbers. We're going back to corporations, right? With people transporting their freight all over the country. Yeah, let's just have the cheap Jose or Manuel or Sadiq, drive this thing. Who knows how many Americans they kill, power lines they run over, bridges they destroy. That's okay. We got to get those widgets over to Arkansas by Thursday. Got to make sure we transport them. But in response to this, so we've got the North American Punjabi Truckers Association responded to this by saying that Sikh truckers, of which there are over 150,000 that work in the trucking industry in the United States, responded by saying that Sikh and immigrant truckers with spotless records are being threatened like suspects while they keep American freight moving. Yeah, exactly. No, so there we go. I know like the Republican Party is really like supposed to, not be big on unions and stuff because, unions just stop capitalism or whatever. But now we just have unions that are just entirely taken over by various ethnic hordes. They're just fighting for their own ethnic interests. Aren't actually doing anything against like the corpos because the corpos are giving these people jobs or not taxing their remittances. So they send it back to, their shit-stained homes back halfway across the world. And the corporation gets off fine because, maybe once in a blue moon, some like rich white family has enough to take these guys to a class action lawsuit and take them to court for having one of these illegal drivers run over their wife and kids. Maybe occasionally they'll have a big payout or something. But no, we got to keep these people going, man. It really just shows you that the depth of our problems are so deep in this country on so many different levels. And then like you just talk like the average like conservative and stuff and like think, oh, we're winning, guys. Woke's been defeated. The left are on the run. Greatest comeback in political history. We're living in the new golden age. Look at that GDP. Look at that stock market.
Yeah. I called some true he and I didn't get arrested. We're winning. I mean, it really just goes to show that, you know, even if Trump was the guy, this can't be. I don't think it can't be fixed at a grand scale. There's just too much rot through the country. I mean, you're gonna have. Do you know how many mayors you have to arrest? Do you know how many judges you have to arrest? Do you know how many sheriffs you have to arrest? Do you know how many people need to be arrested? I mean, it's basically a system that is run off of graft and corruption, and nobody gives a fuck.
It's like almost everything in the economy is fake. No, it's either funded by the government or funded by fake government money in some way or another. Just, everything is completely inflated. The population around the globe is inflated. Everyone's stocks are inflated. Everyone's homes are inflated. Just everything. It's not going to be pretty when this thing comes crashing down.
I think we've all said it on here before. I mean, we'll take a fucking 50% reduction in, you know, what we could sell our house for if you just fix it.
Yeah.
Just fucking fix it. You deport 40, 50 million people. And like my house is probably going to be worth half of what it, I'd be able to sell it half of what I could right now. Okay. I'm fine with that. Don't plan on selling it. Are you willing to fucking suffer some pain to fix stuff? But it just can't be fixed. No one's willing to fix it. No one's willing to go through the pain to fix it. What needs to be done?
Well, speaking of what needs to be done, we've got our last story here that we have to talk about tonight, because I'm sure that we've got some really tough politicians in office, Pete and Sandbatch, who are willing to do even the slightest modicum of things that need to be done in this situation to really face the really gripping issues and get down and dirty with, the actual needs of this country and what needs to end up happening. Let us all make fun of our favorite libertarian politician, Mr. Rand Paul.
You need the Curb Your Enthusiasm music to start.
Well, here we go. So, in reference to, Pete Hegseth. Such a downgrade from his father in every way. Anyway, so Senator Rand Paul decided to take to Twitter this week and to draft this very harshly worded letter. I'm just reminded of like Hans Bricks from Team America. That's basically what this is, right? But Senator Rand Paul, his big issue of the day that he really needed to animate himself, as with all libertarians, is, of course, drugs. and I got to tell you, at the start of this, I mean, I was already okay with weeks ago when they started dropping these bombs and drone striking a lot of these ships, and a lot of people disagree. But you know what? We got to do something about the drugs that are coming into this country. I am very skeptical of the long-term views that the Trump administration has on these actions dealing with these cartel people. If they want to do a regime change war in Venezuela, that is obviously a very, very bad idea, and none of us want to be involved with that. But at the same time, more Americans die every single year from fentanyl overdoses than the entire war on terror combined. And you know what? I'm totally fine with blowing up drug dealers and drug traffickers. Totally fine with it. Don't care. And, hearing everybody like kind of chimp out about this, I was kind of under the impression that so maybe like a quarter of these boats like actually have drugs on them and stuff like this, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I can live with that. It's a big enough issue for me. I can live with them blowing these people up. It's important enough to me to fix the never-ending tie of drugs coming into our country. I'm okay with this. But then Senator Rand Paul decides to give us this number, which I just could not believe. He says, Coast Guard records show that prior to the reign of blow them up to smithereens, 21% of the boats stopped at the coast of Venezuela possessed no drugs. So fucking 80% of them did. So 80% of these boats have drugs on them? Are you kidding me?
I mean, what the hell else would you be doing? Let's be real. Come on. Actually, 21% is kind of high. He's like, I would literally expect 100% of these things to have drugs on them. Like, what the hell? Else are you doing?
I just like couldn't believe this number. It's like, really? This is what you're going to argue about? 4 out of 5 of these boats are carrying enough drugs to kill tens of thousands of people. And you're just like, oh, well, if it's not completely 100% perfect, then we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Which is just like the perfect summary of like all libertarian thought, basically. It's
and
like,
they always like choose, like, they're like Quakers, man. That's what they remind me of, is Quakers. Just like Quakers were like always arriving at the exact worst moment with a petition to end slavery. Like, it's like in the middle of discussing a bill to like fund the ongoing war effort in the War of 1812. And the Quakers show up and they say, we're going to talk about slavery right now. And the entire government falls apart for 2 weeks. That's the way libertarians work. It's the exact same impulse.
Yeah, I mean, and I tweeted this in response to Rand Paul. I was like, find yourself a girl that loves you the way Rand Paul loves drug traffickers, because holy shit, man. It's like, what is supposed to be their solution to this, right? Okay, we're going to drop like a International Court of Human Rights lawyer from like a Reaper drone in the middle of the Caribbean or the Pacific, put him on a Zodiac, have him drive over and read the guy's Miranda rights. It's like, and then we're like gonna have like a speedy trial for them, which would take like 3.5 years, given the way our court system works. And then like these people would have like some Soros funded, like lawyer wasting God knows how much taxpayer money and dollars just to like prove allegedly that there was drugs on here. And then they could say, oh, well, there's no proof that it was actually going to use to inject people. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? What is this?
Well, I mean, I think the good thing at this point is that that any boat that's in the water is a drug boat, because it's like no one's going out on a sailing day with their friggin' kid at this point in that water. But yeah, that number, I hadn't seen that number until until this came out, and for Rand to run to that, I mean, you would think someone who got his ass kicked and like, friggin' had internal bleeding, and I mean, really got fucked up, like it would have woke him up out of this fucking libertarian bullshit stupor, but no.
And that was after he got shot at on a baseball field.
Yeah. I mean, how do you? The fact that he hasn't gone full fucking Franco is just goes to show that they're just not serious. They're not serious people. They don't know how to read the spirit of the age. They got plugged into a system that is designed to work in a certain way. And every once in a while he rebels against the system, but every time he rebels against the system, he sounds like a leftist, because that's what libertarians are.
Yep, absolutely. So I just couldn't believe this stuff. And here's the other thing too, back to what we were talking about earlier about the Trump administration guys getting thrown in jail and stuff. You just know that Rand Paul will be right there on side with them, citing his complaints, right here, saying, oh, well, 21% of these boats didn't have any drugs on them whatsoever, and therefore, Juan Gonzalez here, who got, his head blown off by one of these Reaper drones, his blood is on Pete Hegseth's hands, and he should be executed for it, because the nap. Meanwhile, he might get beaten outside of his house once again, or yelled at, like during the BLM stuff. Do you remember when he and his wife got like cornered in the middle of like outside in Washington, D.C.?
Oh yeah.
It's like, how many like strikes does this guy need to have before he's out?
I mean, if anyone was like, should have been turned and went like completely Franco or, Salazar or something like that, it'd have been this guy. But no, it's fucking insane, man. You remember what his dad ran for president twice? What did his dad say he wanted to do with the borders? He wanted to bring all the fucking military home from overseas and just put them on the border. That's why I supported his dad. I mean, that's fucking shit, man.
Yeah, it's like, I want Ron Paul. We have Ron Paul at home. The Ron Paul at home.
Yeah, fucking Timu Ron Paul.
Yeah.
Faggot.
I didn't notice.
recommend you stop being such a faggot.
I didn't know I didn't see Brylan Holly
Dude.
hand job in there on the first one. I caught him on there the second time. That's great. God, that guy was just made in like the Republican Party, like Dennis Hastert Gimp Factory. You know?
Dude. But I will point this out that when like in the 70s and 80s, people did think Ron Paul was this annoying. So there is like a little bit like substantively different, but aesthetically similar. They have an obnoxious trait to them.
Well,
libertarians.
The biggest trait,
Yeah.
the biggest trait is that they're advocating for something. They're saying, well, it'll be better if we do this, but they have no proof whatsoever other than theory. It's not like you can look back in history and be like, oh, look at this. Here's the free market, unencumbered free market. Oh, where's that at? Well, medieval Iceland and medieval Ireland. Like any of you would fucking survive the warring tribes of Ireland and Iceland. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And it's just the thing that's like so maddening about this. It's like, okay, so their argument is like, okay, it's unjust to kill some of these guys because some of them might not be having drugs like on their boats or something like that. But it is more just for us to put American lives in jeopardy, either through drug overdoses at home or by dropping, guys like from Zodiacs in there in the middle of the ocean to go and like arrest these guys. God knows they're going to get shot at. Some American lives are going to be lost. All the money that's going to exchange and change hands to get these guys in front of a lawyer and a judge, like some International Court of Human Rights, which like, what the fuck does that even mean? I mean, these guys aren't accused of anti-Semitism, so they're probably not going to be found guilty of anything in those courts. So it's like, okay, so is that supposed to be more just than just dropping like a predator drone on top of these guys? It's just so ridiculous, man. It's like in any other point in history, like here's the other thing too, is like, just where's your masculine spirit and masculine energy here on this stuff too? It's like we just shouldn't we shouldn't have to put up with this shit. We should not have to put up with being exploited.
Can I use that to promote the episode I just dropped with Ball, who was out? He was one of the speakers at the Oregon event, and we talk about the feminization, about the feminization of society, and how we tried to find as many examples as we could. And even down, we even talked about how the military operates. And I mean, it's just so, everything is so, this Rand Paul tweet is just feminine, complete feminine.
Well, I mean, that's oh god, but that's the way he comes off so often. It's like school marm again. Quakers, he's a Quaker, he's a neo-Quaker. Where are they from? They're not from Texas.
Ron's from Western PA. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna go Google something.
I mean, it's just, again, the hour is late, man. Pay no attention to the fact that our cities are crumbling. Everyone's high on drugs. Everyone's getting addicted to various gambling apps. We're not even covering this today, but did you guys see that? There's like a clip coming out from a recent tech conference where their goal is to financialize everything in the economy. It's like, holy usury, Batman.
It's just pure. I mean, that's the final boss of the final boss of Judaization of the Judaizing of the country is just that there's nothing manufactured anymore. Nothing. Everything is financial.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking because it's one of the things I've done is one of the things I do is like people they like toss startup ideas around or whatever. I'm like, no, there's like a group of local guys around here in Louisiana that I hang out with, and they're always like trying to come up with business ideas. I'm like, you idiots, you don't understand. You're like Cajuns and you think like building boats is how you make a living. I'm like, no one in the American economy makes anything anymore. You build like vaporware and stacks of papers and sell it to other people who sell other stacks of papers. It's like nobody's actually producing like what? Who the hell would try to produce something in the American economy right now? Like the government has pretty much made that illegal.
What a world. So, well, I'm glad that we got Rand Paul looking after Americans and American interests, man. I mean, I guess that's the other thing too. The final thing I'll say about this is we talk about all the time about how we're an occupied government and everyone's just looting the corpse and nobody has the interest of heritage Americans at heart here. It's like Rand Paul really needs to go to bat for Venezuelan drug gangbangers, instead of like the American people. It's like there's actually something even more insidious about that than like some, Vivek Ramaswamy wanting to bring over more of his co-ethnics. No, it's just like, no, we're actually going to actively support the criminals that are killing hundreds of thousands of Americans every year. It's like, where the fuck are your priorities, man? This is why ideology just rots your brain, dude. Ugh. Anyway, well, that's the end of all of our terrible stories for tonight. Thank you for joining another depressing episode of Pony Express Radio. But let's go through these super chats and hopefully there'll be some levity in here.
Yeah, it's been a bad week, folks. There's no way around it.
Yep. Well, scrolling up to the top, we got our good friend, loyal super chatter as ever. Solid Snake 1964, always first behind enemy lines, always first to get his super chat in. Evening, gents. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Spent lots of time with family. How was all your Thanksgiving celebrations? President RedHawk, how was your turkey? Also, the Home Range Society's president now has another baby girl. Congrats. Well, congrats to him. Fantastic. Everyone should be joining their local OGC chapters, starting families, starting bonds of brotherhood as best you can. As it relates to my turkey, it was fantastic. It was deep fried as ever. Tasted great. Took a turkey leg home. Dipped it in some gravy. It was very manly, very tasty. Deep fried in peanut oil for about 47 minutes. That's the way to do it, man. Christopher Burks for $2 sends a salute. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
Real Americans.
Yeah, he's a real American. That's right. I forgot Patton is saluting people now. Thank you. The Shadow Band for $5 also sends us a salute. He's a real American.
Real Americans.
Damn right, real Americans. Alrighty, we got Tippecanoe Lou for $100. Thank you very much, sir. We greatly appreciate it. For $100.
I love the phrase Tippecanoe. Like, I love the word Tippecanoe. I think I told y'all about this when we were on a call one time. My high school American history teacher, her name was Judy Martin, and she was from Boston, and she talked like this, and she had these like weird little slogans that she would use to help us remember things about history, and one of them was Tippecanoe and Tyler too, and she said it just like that, and it was like the wildest shit, and like it's such a like seared into your brain. So I love the word Tippecanoe. It's a great esoteric American history reference too. I don't even know who was it. Was he Zachary Taylor? I think Zachary Taylor won the Battle of Tippecanoe. I think
No, it was Harrison.
It's either him or William. It's one of the.
It's William Henry Harrison. Yeah.
See, I didn't even know. I remembered I remembered the phrase, but I didn't remember the underlying.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling stories about teachers. I mean, my 6th grade music teacher would drop N-bombs. So,
this like insane Boston lady, she taught us the South was right. And I think about that shit sometimes. I'm like, I had a like high quality, like expensive ass high school prep education in like 2005, 2006. This was whenever it was perfectly okay for like respectable people to say the South was right.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so for $100, he says, I talked to my tax guy. OBB gave us 100% bonus depreciation on construction and farm equipment and farm structures. It sounds like this will really help our guys who want to start agricultural or construction businesses. This isn't as good as free Doge Hellcats or SBA gas stations, but it is better than nothing. Please consult your CPA and tax preparer. Yes, please and do. This is not financial advice. # please consult your local tax advisors. Thank you. Dawn Browning, the only woman in the chat, as always, sends us 20 Australian dollars and an anthropomorphic hippo facing backwards who jumps around, throws a hand, making a V for victory. Thank you, Dawn Browning. We appreciate your super stickers as always. Thank you. Let's see. No, I'm not Grim from Red Hood. Interesting name. For $2 says 50% Clown World, 50% Trash World. And he sent that to us twice to make a double emphasis on how much of a clown world and trash world we're living in. So thank you very much. Imagine my lack of shekel. We've seen him around here before. For $10 says, saw a video with Thomas Massey asking why they stopped the search after they found the second bomb, like they knew there were only two. Room temperature IQ scavenger hunt for the G-men. We live in an open air preschool. Yeah, I mean, everything about this story just stinks, you know, and we just can't trust anybody. We literally can trust nothing our government says, nothing our elites say, just absolutely nothing. I mean, you know, people have criticism for Tucker Carlson for a number of reasons, but I will say this: one of the things I think is really important that he constantly is hammering on with all of his shows is just the simple fact that everybody fucking lies, man. Everyone. There's just no trust to be found anywhere from our leaders, no matter the party, no matter who's in charge. Just everything's a lie. Everything's shrouded in secrecy, and nothing good comes to that, man. So, important thing to stress. All right. No, I'm not Grim from Red Hood again for $5. No matter what happens, you guys and others like you all have my support. Even if things may be grim now, I'm allied to you till victory or bitter end. Well, thank you very much, sir. I hope you're in your local OGC chapter and finding like-minded gentlemen who can help all of us in times of need, because the dark times will return once again, gentlemen. So, again, he sends us another $5. The fact that he hasn't been thrown in solitary confinement, bare minimum, means one of two things or both. We have no political will or are compromised. This might be in reference to our bomber, or alleged bomber, I should say. Or you know what? It could have been a reference to literally anybody we talked about tonight. It could have been Hakeem Jeffries. It could have been, Rand Paul. It could have been anybody that we talked about tonight. So many people need to go to jail, man. James 6656 for $10. Trump is serious this time. He's going to open a huge can of do nothing on them. Yeah, we can dream, man. Pretty much all we can do at this point. Again, like, we just have to say it all the time, and no boomer will, and every single boomer will make sure you never forget this, right? It's like, oh, well, would you rather have Kamala? It's like, no, obviously I would not want to have Kamala, right? But you know what I would like to have? I would like to have the campaign Trump as opposed to the President Trump, you know? I don't think that's too much to ask. Imagine my lack of shekel sends us another $10. My support for mass deportations is directly proportional to my minutes spent at Costco. Yeah, I think many of us can agree with that for sure. It's just, it's crazy when you hear like the stories. Like the second they found out that you could save like 10 cents per unit by going to Costco, they just immediately go there and stock up on literally everything for their stores. It's just, crazy. They got a sale on water bottles. Quick, everyone in the entire Patel Motel cartel, quick, run to your nearest Costco, buy up all the supply for the next 3 years. God, just the lowest to trust people in the entire universe, and we're bringing them in by the millions. No, I'm not Grim from Red Hood again for $5. Stuff like this trucker nonsense is designed by the most spiteful, soulless people ever conceived in existence, just so cartoonishly evil.
What percentage of California CDLs are Indian immigrants, though?
Too many.
It's hard because, I mean, from what I understand, they may have been giving them under the table.
I mean, that's almost certainly that's what I'm implying.
You know what the other thing, you know what the other thing too about this is, like, that is particularly, of all the issues we talked about tonight, that's actually the one that's easiest to fix, because the federal government is directly in control of all, like, the funding that goes to transportation, you know, the interstate highway system and everything. Like, you could literally just say tomorrow, we're not giving you any of this money whatsoever until you deport all these illegal people who are, you know, dealing with
Dude, there are like so many fix everything buttons. That's like, it's like one of these things. It's like fuck. Like, you gotta like actually be trying. Like, there are serious reasons why you're trying not to fix everything. You know,
it's just the never-ending struggle between the donor class and the actual base. The donor class boomers, who are shielded from all of this nonsense we've been discussing because they got in when land was cheap and labor was expensive. Just perfect embodiment of that James Kirkpatrick tweet about making enough money to avoid the consequences of the Civil Rights Act. I mean, those people are literally the embodiment of this, and
that's true.
They're just put off by all of this talk about how the Constitution's been dead for decades. All these people are just not Americans. They all need to go. We need to actually start using force because all these boomers are controlled by their fucking wives. It's just. Yeah, the base is crying out for this Gordian knot to be cut, screaming for it.
But you know,
Trump won't do it. They'll find someone who will.
I was on Pete's show the other day, and I was talking about the actual divide between, like, I was talking about the media and the actual political. Like, so many people are like, oh, like the GOP frequently also, they seem really wrapped up in the media side of things, but like, the actual gulf between like the media and the consumer and the politician and the citizen are so wide. It seems jokey. Like, I mean, like I recently said, like it's so insane. Like I said, probably the most unifying issue in American politics right now is anti-Israel. Like, both sides of like both political bases hate Israel, but like both political parties like are like brutally repressing their own base on this same issue. Like, there's like broad bipartisan consensus for like ducking out of like cutting off aid to Israel, and yet both parties want to do it. like now,
yeah, those donors, man, they just really love that nation of Israel, man. It's
the media. It's the media apparatus, and then the finances. That's where all the money is circulating. You know,
yeah.
it's like
Moving on here to Seasider, definitely our strongest soldier, sends us $10 and a salute. He's a real American. Damn right, he's a real American.
Thanks,
so
Seasider.
So is Volpes Persona. He's a real American too. Sends us $10. Thank you very much, sir. No real Americans. He's a real American. Yeah.
Real Americans.
I thought he was Belgian.
Well, he sent us a salute. He sent us a salute, so he gets it. So, all right. Skibum 220 for $50. Another one of our frequent super chatters. Thank you very much, Skibum 220. $50. He says, got here late, catching up on 2 times speed. Sends us a salute. Thank you very much.
Real Americans.
Damn right, he's a real American. All right, he's probably caught up by now. Aramaic Discourse for $10. Just end the state, bro. Yep.
It's a good handle, by the way. Aramaic Discourse. I like it.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's one of our frequent guys. No, I'm not Grim from Red Hood for another $5. I know many of us grew up rooting for Rand Paul, and he was a vital stepping stone, but this alone should make you throw him away for good.
Like,
yeah,
you know, you really have to understand that Rand Paul has always been cringe. Like, this is like, that's the, yeah.
It's why Trump dunked on him all those years ago.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Seasider again sends us $2. Rand endorsed mittens over his own father in 2012. Did he really? Wow.
Faggot.
Unbelievable. Wow. I wouldn't put it past him, though. Let's see. Grim from Red Hood again for $2. Times are hard, but we'll push forward together. Damn right we will. Paulie B sends us $20. Ron and Rand Paul, Delta Distills 2, Silent Generation versus Boomer, youngest but still. Post-world moral order truly is the line in the sand that severed totally heritage Christian America and the Curry Talmudic regime.
I have some pushback on that, but that's like not a topic to get into in the super chat section. That's like you want Thomas 77 there to scream at me for 10 minutes after I'm over. After I'm done.
All right, Jer Moosekek for $5. Did y'all see that the Supreme Court is allowing Texas to use a redrawn congressional map? Hey, good news.
This is an issue though that I have some real this is so Texas is one. Texas is not. So I think the one redistricting Texas. This was actually my first issue that I became somewhat known for because I wrote about the Virginia redistricting after I guess it was maybe the 2016. God, I know it was later than that. But the first really big thing I ever wrote was the thing about a professor by the name of Bernard Groffman. Yeah. Who was consulting on the Virginia redistricting. And this is one of the most interesting topics to me because I am I'm a House of Representatives supremacist. I'm like a genuine Jeffersonian. And the way the House moves sort of fascinates me. So this Texas map, I think the main features are that Jasmine Crockett's district is being eliminated, so get rid of her. And then there's this, and I think it's net +5 Republicans in Texas alone. And I think all told, if all of the states draw their do this at once and Mexican standoff it and gerrymander their districts however they possibly can, which is, by the way, as simple as a GPT prompt in the year 2025. You can go optimize. You can download voter data from census.gov and you can gerrymander your state and every other state to optimize for whichever political party you want. It's a trivial operation at this point. Okay. So first of all, I think there's no reason to assume every state wasn't going to do it eventually anyway. But okay, what happens now that you've done this? Okay. So California, I think California was -5 or something like that. Democrats similar. California and Texas were similar but opposite. And one of the things you have to remember, though, is that other than, there are more Republicans, there are more current conservatives that live in California than in any other state in the country. Okay. So now that both sides have been totally disenfranchised in every state, what happens, for instance, what happens in the South when you take the one black congressional district away from the Democrats? Inevitably, you will see black voters move into the Republican Party, which will cause certain demographics to then shift into the Democrat Party. When you firmly fix and this is to me the most interesting thing that's happening in American politics right now, because nothing I can think of is going to cause a party system cleavage or a total realignment baking in the game theory of redistricting. So yeah, whichever state has a 51% advantage is now going to optimize for 80 some odd percent of the congressional districts in whichever state. Okay, so this is and it's going into its low energetic state. So there's no flux there. There's no reason to expect anybody's going to change. So how is that not going to create realignments of the coalitions? I think this is the thing that nobody's thinking about with respect to these congressional redistricts. They're going to do it anyway, but I think that this is actually the thing that's going to shatter the current party system. That'll be the thing that gets rid of it, and there's no way it can save itself. It's why? If you're in Texas, why would you vote Democrat? Well.
We'll see what they end up doing with it. I mean, that's definitely.
Sorry, that was a lot. He
Yeah, he won the min-max of the Super Chat game tonight for sure with that response. But, I mean, it's definitely something that is worth considering. Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
sluggish all night, and I suddenly come to life here at the very end. Sorry,
No, I mean,
sorry about that.
it is no, but it is a topic that definitely deserves more thinking, because it definitely does seem the way the winds are shifting, because everybody's doing it, and this will cause changes down the road. But anyway, carrying on to Georgian Minuteman, cool name. Brother's friend is a teacher's assistant in AP U.S. history class. The teacher today said that Somalis were crucial to the creation of the U.S. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, yeah. Maybe creation critical to the creation of the U.S. Navy, during the Barbary Wars or something. But like, jeez, unbelievable. It's like that. People can go listen to Bagby's speech from the conference earlier this year, which we released on audio on Thanksgiving last week. And Bagby's telling this story about these boomers he was talking to, asking questions. Tell me about the Islamic and Hindu history of Louisiana. It's like, what the fuck? There isn't any. I don't care what your TV says. Amazing how much the propaganda seeps into people. Mikey Machines for $20 says, America is the most beautiful nation and peoples in the world, and the logical conclusion for those in power is to turn us into a transient economic zone like London. We deserve better. Cheers, gents, and love the streams. Salute. Well, thank you very
Real
much,
Americans.
sir. Yeah, real Americans is right. And then finally, the last super chat of the evening comes from Manayud Sushi, another one of our frequent super chatters, for $5. He says, on a lighter note, did you guys have any good right-wing fiction recommendations? And yes, I have read Dune already. Just finished the series. Salute.
Real
Sandbatch.
Americans.
Sandbatch, I'm sure you have many suggestions.
I just want to say Carl Dahl's books, the faction with the Crusaders, and Thomas's Steelstorm books. There's a couple right there.
Yeah, there you go. Good suggestion. What do you got, Sandbatch? Right-wing books people should be reading? Fiction? Are you a fiction reader?
Am I a fiction reader? I'm a poet. So no, I'm not at all. I deal in something completely different. No, but I mean, good Lord. It depends on what you're looking for, and depends on what you mean by right-wing fiction. And that's like, again, another was like, we could do a whole, maybe I'll go do a space after this about what the hell is right-wing fiction. So those things we're always arguing about. Does it even exist? I don't know. The ones Pete suggested are good. Those are mostly, well, especially Thomas's books. Those are ones that that if you're looking for something plot-driven, if you're looking for poetry, you could check out my shit. You can look at Tom Will. Anybody who's publishing with like Farthest Heaven is somebody that I could like really vouch for. There's a lot. If you haven't read Dan Baltic's book, that's I mean, it's yeah.
Nutcracker's been out how long?
Yeah, it's been like 4 years now, hasn't it? T.R. Hudson. Yeah, T.R. Hudson has great books. Check out those guys. Those guys are around. You're probably mutuals with them on Twitter, or if you're not, you will be rapidly.
Yeah, so there you go. Support fellow friends wherever they may be. So, alrighty, that is it for the super chats. So we will wrap the show up tonight. Thank you for coming on, gentlemen, as always. Pete, what do you have to promote, sir?
I'm going to take this opportunity to promote something that is not mine. I think most people know that Dr. Matthew Raphael Johnson and I are on episode 92 of reading through Solzhenitsyn's 200 Years Together. And Dr. Johnson finally has released his book on the foundations and causes of the Russo-Ukrainian War, 2022 to 2025. It has a title of Borshi Splashine Krovyu, which translates to debts paid in blood. Best thing to do, just go over to Amazon. It's only on Amazon right now, and put in Matthew Raphael Johnson. As far as I know, he said he's the only one in the country, and pick this book up. It's a good way to support him, and he's going to have a take on this conflict that probably no one else will, being that this is his whole focus of study is Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, he's the guy on this. You know, that's my background too. Like in the dim, like actually, you know, people have the red pill moment. I have no real red pill moment. My like sort of, and I didn't know libertarian moment either. Like my like in through the outdoor was like the Russo-Ukrainian war and the last one. Matthew Rayfield Johnson's been on that shit for God at least a decade and a half that I can account for, you know. And he's a real scholar. He's got that's probably an interesting take.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to read it. I mean, I know what Scott Horton wrote this huge book called Provoked, but he and I did so many episodes on Ukraine. I basically know the book. I mean, it's like I don't have to read the book. I mean, he basically did the book on my podcast over years. But the way that, Dr. Johnson is going to come at it from, he's going to talk about, the Orthodox churches, and he's going to talk about, the real, identity of the people involved and just exactly how this happened. And, he has we've done shows going all the way back to like Khmelnytsky. So, I mean, he knows this whole history, and it's just amazing. When we're doing 200 years together and we bring up, I can't pronounce some name, and he's like, "Oh, I read a book by that guy," and then he just goes off about what they.
Russian history to me is so actually. I don't think you were there, Pete, but RedHawk was there because we were at an OGC retreat one time, and our friend had a copy of the Gulag Archipelago sitting there, and I sat down and I read it for 20 hours. Okay, and this the first time, and this was a year ago. It was the first time I'd ever picked it up. I sat there and read it for Russian history is too much for me to even contemplate. It's this roaring vortex that I occasionally open the door and then shut the door again really fast because it just looks like this massive labyrinthine thing that you could just fall into and never even find your bearings. Russian literature is bad enough. I have an addiction to Russian literature, and I am people who are not from Russia and they can handle the swirling vortex of Russian history amaze me. It's next level mind games.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, everyone should go check that stuff out. Sandbatch, do you have anything to promote?
Well, I mean, y'all can pay for my Substack. That's wonderful. Enough people have paid for my Substack at this point that I'm what? But I've been writing a lot this year, and I think I'm getting better at it. And the cool thing is, I've got a book that I might be finished with tonight. And if I finish, and whenever, it's written and everything. Talk about doing the typesetting and the things that go with putting a book together yourself. And if I finish it tonight, I'll put a pre-order link up, and then I'll release it in a week. Because the thing about I went to this because I do everything in such a fucked up way. I incorporated my own actual legal entity that's a publishing company specifically to use as an auteur or label for my own bullshit. But I finally got that all.
Did we lose him, or did I lose him?
No, he's roboting on me too. I mean, he's gone.
All right, Rip. They took him out just about as he was going to publish his new book. They drone struck Sandbatch's spot in New Orleans, but everyone go check out.
The New Orleans Nuns broke in.
Yeah. So, well, everyone go look at good old Christopher Sandbatch's material. He's a good friend. As for myself, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, I made an appearance with our good friend Kevin Deanna on his Rumble channel last week, just before Thanksgiving. You guys can check that out.
That was an excellent show. Excellent appearance.
Yeah, thank you. And I also had a conversation with my good friend Kyle Matovic last week. That was tons of fun. It's always good to catch up with Kyle. He's a good friend and a friend of the OGC.
Pollock?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that guy, of course. But and yes, this Saturday morning, I will be appearing with my good friend Ryan Stone. He and I usually do a stream, 3 or 4 times a year together, and we're due for another one. So, good old Ryan and I are going to go back and chat, catch up, talk about some red pill basics, maybe how much more fucked Canada is than America. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it's always a fun time when I get to talk to Ryan. So, head on over to Ryan Stone's channel on Saturday morning to see me over there. Of course, as always, everyone should be subscribing and watching American Spirits, The Chapter House, and watching here on Pony Express Radio. Oh, another thing, I was on Drive Time Movie Night last night with Cap and Michael Pohl, and man, oh man, if you guys want just like a good time on a Wednesday night of guys just having jokes, drinking beer, and watching movies, and having a good old time, just go watch Drive Time Movie Night, man. It is really fun.
I'll be on again next month.
Oh, it's a great time, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's so retarded.
Yeah.
I remember last time I said some things, and it's just like I made one comment and everybody just went silent. It's like, we're gonna get kicked off.
Yeah. It's definitely the atmosphere they cultivate on that show for sure. But yeah, definitely one of the more fun streams in our entire thing. So people head on over there. But we will be back here once again for Pony Express Radio next week. We'll see you guys then.
When I pass on my good genes to my sons, they're going to join the Old Glory Club.